Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. And we are going to be doing a Megadeth triple shot, since I have not covered Megadeth at all yet. I do apologize to Dave Mustaine and all the various members over the years for my neglect of Megadeth up until this point. Not that they give a shit. With this one, I'm going to tell you up front, I'm going to cover 3 albums. One of them is my favorite Megadeth album. One of them is the one I like the least, and one of them is the one that generally everybody else likes the least. Now, when I make this statement, I make this statement off of I only own from Killing Is My Business to Risk. Risk is not included in anything I am saying here. I've actually not listened to Risk. Risk came with Tracy, and I just haven't gotten around to listening to it yet. So, we're going to start with the earliest of the 3 albums. And I'm not going to reveal which album is which until the end of the 3rd review. So, get ready, folks. I'm going to let you see if you can figure out which is which here. First album up. So far, so good. So what? Alright, so I bought this album used. And I've actually got the old black and white banners, the old rock banners used to get. They were like on a black, I don't want to say silk, but it was kind of silk background, and then you had the white paint over top of it. Screen print, white screen print, I actually had the one for So Far, So Good, So What. I actually had bought it off of a friend's brother. So, let's get into this album, and we'll talk about it. Okay. Into the Lungs of Hell opens up this album. It is a really cool intro. It really sets the album off on the right direction, really gives a nice warm-up. Then it goes into Set the World Afire. Not a fan of Set the World Afire. And the reason I'm not a fan of Set the World Afire is I'm just not that angry. Now, you always hear about the Megadeth-Metallica debate. Megadeth, to me, is like a Doberman. Fast, vicious, wild. I love Dobermans. I'm not knocking on Dobermans, okay? I'm just trying to get the general concept. And no, Dobermans, every Doberman I've ever known is the most loving thing. I'm generalizing, okay? Fast, wild, aggressive, vicious. Alright, that's Megadeth to me. Metallica, on the other hand, is like a mastiff. And I'm not talking like a bull mastiff. I'm talking like a big ass Siberian kind of not Siberian, sorry. Himalayan mastiff, big giant monster bear-like dog. Just looks like both dogs you don't want to tango with. They are very, very great dogs. Big, beautiful dogs. But that's how I view them, And the reason why I use the ones I did is I love a Dobe. Dobes are great. I will never own a Dobe. I've lived with a Dobe. I lived with a Dobe for like a year. They were a great dog. I'm going way off topic here. I lived with a Dobe for a year. They are a great dog, but they need someone that's on top of them all the time, and they're a very energetic, constantly have to be on the move kind of dog. They need a lot of exercise. Mastiffs, on the other hand, they need a fair amount of exercise to make sure they don't get overweight, but they're not a crazy energetic dog. They're a little more slow, Anyway, let's get back into this. So, Set the World Afire, that's the reason I don't like it. To me, it's a dope. A little fast, too fast aggressive for me, okay? Okay. Then we get to Anarchy in the UK. I love Anarchy in the UK. I absolutely, what used to be one of my favorite songs to karaoke. And when I karaoke, I'll be honest, I throw the British accent in and I try and go totally Sex Pistols on it, man. Johnny Rotten the fuck out of that song. And, depending on how you feel about that, depends on how you feel about that. But I really dig Anarchy in the UK. This version of it's cool. You hear Megadeth do it. I like when Megadeth covers the Pistols. They usually do a decent job of it. They metal it up really nicely. Out of all the versions of Anarchy in the UK I've heard, I still prefer the Sex Pistols the best. Then we get into Mary Jane next. The first half of Mary Jane is a great song. I absolutely love the haunting, mesmerizing kind of riding on the waves in the night feel. Not really waves, but kind of on the smoke waves. Yeah, the waves of smoke, I guess. Just drifting on those waves of smoke. That really great kind of. And then it gets all stupid and aggressive. I liked it when it was dark and haunting. The stupid and aggressive part, it's too much. It really is. And then you get to 502. 502 could have been a great song if it wasn't for the solos that just seemed totally out of place. It's like shredding for the sake of shredding. Let's jerk ourselves the fuck off. As fast as we can, as hard as we can. Really, 502 is an example of why you should not play guitar solos on cocaine. Sorry. And, sometimes you find a good example of why you should play a solo on cocaine. This is examples of why you shouldn't play solos on cocaine. When you listen to the solos on 502, you understand why Metallica replaced Dave Mustaine with Kirk Hammett. And that's a whole different argument. But once again, having a Doberman running along with a Mastiff isn't necessarily going to work. Okay. Then you get In My Darkest Hour, which is, they say, inspired by Cliff Burton's passing. Sometimes it's not inspired by Cliff Burton's passing. It really just depends on the cycle of the moon and Dave Mustaine's feelings at that time. I don't know. I like In My Darkest Hour. It's one of the few songs on here I think really does stand out. Overall, meh, Then you get to Liar. I hate to say it, I like Liar. Only because Liar's the one time that the aggressiveness works, but they don't just do the aggressive. Like, I kind of like the chorus, the la, la, la. It's simple, but it's effective, and it gives just enough of a change from the rest of the song that it really kind of makes it pop a bit. It's not like a huge Megadeth song that I really enjoy. It's just not, And then the album finishes with Hook and Mouth. And I do actually really like Hook and Mouth. I think it was a good solid close for this album. Honestly, there is not a song on this album that I'm overly fond of. In My Darkest Hour, Anarchy in the UK have ended up in mixes. I do like to throw the album on every so often to listen to it, just to give it a run through. I don't mind that way, but honestly, we're talking like maybe once every 5 years, 6 years, I'll throw it on. That's it. So yeah, that's my views on So Far, So Good, So What. I realize it doesn't sound like I'm talking much about this album, but really, there isn't much to talk about on this album. Overall, they definitely have better albums. That's a given. That'll also help you determine where this will fall in the trilogy, maybe a little bit, not a lot. But yeah, So Far, So Good, So What. Not the follow-up we would have wanted to Peace Cells. Definitely not. But what are you going to do? Anyways, leave me your comments. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section is for. You can even talk about dogs in this one if you want to comment about dogs and tell me what your comparison would be between Metallica and Megadeth for dogs. I'd like to hear your comparison on that one. That'd be cool. Uh, Otherwise, folks, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Peace, love, and take care.